Hello world. In this video, we're going to give you a general overview of the Sky Quota system. Alright, let's get started. We're going to have some fun. The first thing I want to do is explain the navigation. So you'll notice on the left side we have the main left navigation. You can collapse it and just use the icons, or you can open it so you can read what they are. On to the right, I call this level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. So there's 4 levels at the top. However, the levels will change depending on what screen you're in. Being in the front, which is what is mainly used by salespeople, the left nav will stay the same. All right, so another thing that we want to make sure we understand is in the top right where your name is, this drop down. You have to be an administrator to have managed quota. You have to be a super admin to have managed users, but all reps, users, whatever you want to call them, will have my settings. Okay, so let's go in and let's start with some of the administration. If you're an admin, you can go in to manage quota and you can set up the front end stuff, okay? Set up the stuff for the salespeople, for your team. Like a sales process, you can build custom sales processes in the lead section, in the company section, and even in the deal section. There are custom closing processes and actually like step-by-step closing processes, which we'll get into in another video. Again, this is just for a general overview. So the admin can set up sales processes, they can create rewards, they can customize and set all the different drop downs that are in the Sky Quota drop downs that come with it. Obviously, any custom field drop downs, you create those as you go. You can connect your form builder or your website forms to Sky Quota by mapping the fields and handing the snippet over to you, whoever made your website, so that when someone fills out a form, it inserts into Sky Quota. You can create reports depending on, what type of report do you want. You got to start somewhere, right? Let's say you want to see how many people close sales in a certain date range. You can do that, or how many leads came in, how many calls did these reps make, and basic reports. And then sales quota, which is what it's all about, right? We want to set quotas. We want to have leaderboards. We want to have team goals. Well, I'll show you some of the stuff in the front end, but here's how the admin would set it up. All right, so that's a little bit of an overview of the manage quota section. I'm going to jump to manage users. Now, you have to be a super admin to have this area, because each time you create a user, whoever's paying for the system gets charged a fee. And so that's all there is in manage users, the ability to either create, delete, or disable, edit, stuff like that. But it's things that are related to money. Okay, so lastly, and this is what everybody has, no matter what, is my settings. Now, inside of my settings is 2 areas. There's the personal information, which is just, your name, phone number, email, your role, your address, stuff like that. Time zone's important because, there's a lot of calendars and reminders and, a lot of mathematics. So you want to have your time zone set, and you can change your password here. But memory is pretty cool. We get a lot of great feedback on this section because each user gets to customize their Sky Quota the way you think about, like a car that has like memory seats for driver 1 and driver 2. Well, here there's unlimited drivers, and each salesperson or user or driver, whatever you want to call them, can determine if they want to see confirmation prompts or not. Maybe you've learned the system and you don't need them anymore. You can set the colors of the different status drop downs. You can set the logic of when you're slicing and dicing the data, the ascending or descending and column sorting, how many things you want to view on a page, how many in recently viewed. There's a lot of stuff you can do, and you can do it per section, per user. Okay, so now let's get into some of the good stuff. Actually, before we get into these main things, lastly, you'll see the report feedback. Here, if you find a bug, or you have an idea, or you just want to give us some information, you can type it out here. You can also attach a file, and this goes right to the senior team. It goes ultimately, especially bugs, we handle those. We have a lot of staging and development, and we want to get your feedback, good or bad. We really appreciate everybody's feedback. This is how you can submit it. All right, so now let's talk about how to use SkyQuota, or at least the main sections of SkyQuota. So when you're in the leads, I call this list view. Again, you have recently viewed. All right, level 2. You can choose to, maybe you only want to see the leads that are new. You see how it slices and dices that? Maybe you only want to see certain reps leads, like Captain America has none, okay? How about Doctor Strange? He's got 1, okay. And maybe I want to see, stuff that's only in a certain date range. So I can slice and dice that data by the level 2 options, okay? I can create leads, I can import leads, I can create custom fields. Adjust allows me to actually adjust these columns right here. There's a lot of stuff. Paints is really cool. Allows me to color code things like an Excel spreadsheet. You ever seen an Excel spreadsheet? People sometimes just import it right in, and they'll use it like this, and they'll enter notes and calls and whatnot right from list view without even clicking into a lead and doing anything. And with that said, let's click into a lead. So if we were to click into a lead right here, there's system fields, there's custom fields, there's a lot to this, and this is just an overview, so we'll do a deep dive on a different video. This happens to be a converted lead, so I can get to the company right here, and look at all this stuff we can do. Lots of fun. Let's make some money, right? All right, so now let's go and click on companies. It's a list view. So when you click on the left nav, it gives you the list view of everything. And then when you click into a record, you'll see the specific things that are in a record here. All right. Now, no matter what, all the interactions that happen with this record or with this lead, this company, whatever word you want to use, all get compiled into the view summary. Here you're going to have any email marketing that went out if you decide to integrate your email marketing, your sales process and qualification process, answers to questions will be in here, text messages that went out, yes, you can text from here. There's a lot of stuff, but no matter what interaction or touch point that happens with an employee and a customer, all of those interactions will be captured in the one screen view summary, and people love it. All right, so same thing with deals, right? List view of deals, but deals are like opportunities or potential sales, right? So let's click into one. Oh, this is a closed one. This means it's a sale. Awesome. We love seeing green. But let's pretend it wasn't closed yet. Let's pretend it was still maybe at proposal stage. There's a lot of, I could do a 10-minute, 15-minute demo just on this screen, what it can do. But besides the custom sales processes you can set up throughout the system, you also have a step-by-step closing process for each deal. It's pretty great. And you can also get to your activities and schedule calls, do your things. There's a lot to this. You can follow deals and get notified. You can rate everything. You can rate leads, companies, deals. Metrics happen if an admin creates reports and publishes those reports to the front. Those the metrics in those reports would be viewable here. I didn't set any up, so I'm not going to click it. There's nothing in there. People. Okay, it's contacts, right? People are contacts. Now, there are some people that are associated to a specific lead or a specific deal, and you can always find those through categories or just clicking on it right here. We know that Steve Spragg happens to be associated to this company, so I can click this company, and there's Steve Spang, excuse me. All right, but you can also just have, let's say you've got just the contacts in your phone, and you want them listed and matching here in a separate category. I could, instead of calling this sandbox, I could create a category that's called, cell phone contacts, and they're all here. Those contacts are my personal ones. They're not associated to any leads or whatnot. So without getting into the details, it's a really advanced contact management system, but it's also a people system because of the integrations and connections that the people have to certain leads and companies and deals. And we can cover specifics later. Activities is a very important one. I don't think there's much in here right now, but imagine this. You go into a lead as a salesperson. All right, let's say you create a call. All right, and welcome to trial. Let's say they took a trial and that's your lead, and you're gonna do this call, right after the holidays. So let's say you're coming back Friday. All right, you're gonna do it at 1 p.m. All right, and let's say this is a planned call and you also want a reminder to go off 10 minutes before. That's fine. All right, so now that I just created a call for myself, here. Here's that call. But I'm not going to remember to click into this lead, right? And what if I created 10 calls with 10 different leads? So what happens is usually each morning you'll come in and you'll click activities and you'll see what activities you have for the day or for whatever time frame, again, that you want to set, and slice and dice that data. Maybe you don't want to see everything. You just want to see all the tasks you have. Or maybe you don't want to see all the users. You just want to see yours. However you would like to slice and dice the data. Same thing. Okay. Now, lastly, remember we talked about if you're an admin, you get to set the quota. Well, inside of Sales Quota, I created a leaderboard called Hunters. I set it as a monthly quota cycle. And there's two things that this team is selling, CRM systems and services. I gave them a $10,000 a month quota for the CRM system and $5,000 a month for services, which would be, anything like training, onboarding packages, who knows. I set these colors. I also gave them activities quotas for calls and meetings. I made them very low. Only 50 calls in a month, we are not going to make it, but just for demonstration purposes. And then what I had to do is I had to assign the users to that quota. So I've assigned the Avengers to this team called Hunters, okay? All right, so they're saved. The Avengers are there. Now I'm gonna pretend I'm an Avenger and I log in and I would click leaderboard, and here is the leaderboard. Now, nobody's made any sales yet, but what you'll notice is Team Hunters, it's a monthly quota cycle. The total quota is $15,000, all right? That is from the 10,000 here and the 5,000 here. That's how you get to this 15. So what happens is, as people are closing sales and they're marking things inside their CRM like they normally would, this leaderboard is actually alive and moving. People are going from first place to third and from third to first, and it's constantly moving because people are making calls and having meetings and closing sales based on the drop downs and the things in the deals, okay? So that's how it works. There's also team goals. There's also a lot. There's reward systems. There's so much more we could talk about, but that's a general overview, okay? What we've tried to do is build the first CRM that is built for salespeople by salespeople. One of the key things is it has to be fast. We also believe it's better to be fun. So not that we've gamified it, but by adding leaderboards and graphical representations that are kind of alive and help generate healthy competition, motivate people, plus the reward systems and all the other basic things, right? Reminders and integrations to your website and everything you can think of. We are here to bring you Sky Quota and help each one of your reps increase their quota by 10% or more.